Hi, welcome. This is Bill at Artisan Guitars. I'm the owner and founder of Artisan Guitars in Nashville. And what we'd like to do today is share both a technical knowledge we have of the AP5 Pro from Maton and why that's a superior pickup. And as testimony, of course, we have one of our favorite artists and performing artist, Carl Wachner, a hardworking gentleman who uses these guitars every day of the week for making live music. So, where would you like to start?
Yeah,
Tell us why you like them.
Well, this is a cool video because we talk about this all the time off camera, and we thought this is the perfect thing to actually finally film. So I'm the artist, Bill is the knowledge, and so we're going to kind of dissect why I think Maton guitars have the best pickup in the world. I get constantly stopped at shows, sound engineers hug me. We're going to try and dissect why. So without further ado, let's quickly go through the features. The Matons have an AP5 Pro pickup. It's got a microphone and a piezo under saddle pickup right here. It's got most of the same dials as most other pickups. It's got a volume, a bass, a treble, and a mid, but it's also got a mid-range frequency sweep, and it's got volumes for both the microphone and the piezo pickup. But the cool thing is you can't take this pickup out and stick it in any other guitar.
True.
It's built into it. So Bill's actually got some pieces here he's going to show us.
And if we look at the little sticker on the pickguard cover, which comes off once you remove the cover, it says "Don't fuss with these two screws." And probably because, historically there are some brands of guitars that tried to introduce an adjustable saddle years ago. Turned out not to be a great idea, but nevertheless, those two screws are holding this inside the guitar. These are 6 pickups, 1 for each string. They're nested into the bridge plate. They are not touching the saddle, and this metal strip completes the circuit. So when you look at this visually, you might think it looks like a single coil pickup on an electric guitar, if that makes any sense. So in my view, comparatively to a single strip, a piezo strip under the saddle, this allows the system to collect more vibration, if you will, or more frequencies as the range goes. And if you can collect that, you can probably amplify it. So the AP5 Pro system, this is the preamp, has a microphone attached to the back. When you look in the sound hole of the guitar, sometimes people have it positioned differently. You can move it so it's down inside the guitar. You can move it up here. This is a 2-channel preamp. The mic is in 1 channel, and that's a dry channel. There's no EQ on that channel. So the microphone's facing outward. In my view, it's there to roll on some string noise your left hand makes with the mic naturally, and you blend that over top the bridge system, which is full and warm sounding. This is where the power is. You've got nice little RJ adapters that go on the end of this, so you don't have to worry about poor connection. And on your output jack is even more sophisticated than you would imagine, with a printed circuit board, and those all plug into the back of the preamp. And you mentioned the mid-range sweepable knob. You've got 2 knobs on the side. One says mid-range. That is a wet or dry knob, in my view, the way I would explain it. How much mid-range do you want to mix with the bass and treble? And then you've got the sweepable range for the mids from 600 hertz on the bottom to 2400 kilohertz on top, which is
fantastic.
Pretty unusual to have on board a guitar.
A lot of any other mid-frequency sweeps I've only ever seen between 1 and 2.
Right.
Which is a pretty narrow thing,
Very
really,
narrow,
whereas going all the way down to 600, which is a particularly bad frequency for a lot of acoustic guitars.
Yeah.
I find myself pulling out 600 a lot just in the mix.
Yep.
Not with this guitar, but in a lot of other channels. Cool.
And people also mentioned, the battery access on a lot of aftermarket pickup systems. You got to go inside the guitar, grab the 9-volt battery, and Velcro, and all that. This has 2 AA batteries that slide in from the side, and that battery cassette can be serviced on in between songs if you need to.
I've been playing a ride around where somebody else was playing a Maton guitar next to me, and their batteries died, and so I literally pop out my my little battery cartridge and throw it in theirs, and it's kind of perfect.
Yep.
Okay, so we're going to listen to what this sounds like. Now, for the demonstration of this, we've got a cable plugged in. It's running into an interface, into a computer, and we're going to be listening to this without a microphone in the room. This is just the sound. There's no reverb. It's completely dry. So the boringest version of this sound is what we're going to be hearing. Now, on the controls here, we have the master volume. As I said, the microphone and the piezo, these are the volumes independently for them. Bass, treble, and the mids. So we're going to leave everything flat, start with the mic off and the piezo up, and the master volume up. We're going to start with that. This is almost exactly how I run mine live. I usually leave my microphone off, I loop, and have a noisy stage environment. So the good thing about that is you can bleed the microphone completely off, and you don't have any issues. So this is what it sounds like, just with the piezo, everything flat. Yeah. All right, so we're going to turn the piezo off and the mic all the way up. So this is just the microphone.
It's gonna sound weird, but
It's going to sound weird. Most people are going to have the piezo in there, but
A little airy.
But here we go. I don't know what that sounds like. Sounds good in the room.
You might be under the impression the mic is a little quiet. It's supposed to be. That channel the mic is in is not meant to have the gain equal to what you get out of the bridge system. So the balance there is subtle. The mic by itself, you're not going to play it, the guitar plugged in with the mic only on. So it's there to add to the acoustic sound of the guitar coming across over top of the bridge system. It's not there to work or play through the mic by itself.
That's a really good point. Yeah, it is like it's there to add to the sound. I think the microphone, because it's a small diaphragm condenser, it really adds to the highs and the crispness and the natural sounding part of an acoustic guitar. Whereas in particular, I think this pickup, the undersaddle pickup, captures like a lot of low end, a lot of like a flat frequency response in the low end that's not spiked. So when you have it together, it works really, really well. All right, now everything up. All the way, bass and treble are right at 50%. I should also say that that both of these sliders, the first two, the bass and the treble, have little 50% clicks. When you get there, the master volume is just all the way up, and that's at unity, all the way up. That's not boosted above unity. So here we go. Mic and piezo, all the way up. Okay, now we're going to turn the mic all the way down. We're going to focus on the mid frequency. We're going to boost the the mid range all the way up. And then, Bill, do you want to come around and while I play this, you can kind of sweep it maybe from low all the way to high? Or
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah?
and go back and forth.
All right, here we go. This is how you play. This is how you play guitar.
All right, so mid's right in the middle currently. So strum a little. Just using the frequency sweep knob. So,
one thing I should say too, or that I like to use the mid frequency sweep for, is different rooms sometimes have a lot of frequencies that are horrible ones.
That's
and so the best way I like to use that is to remove a problem frequency, which is really
Notch it
easily done. It's got a nice cue. It's not super wide, meaning you're not adjusting all of these mid-range frequencies. You're able to kind of narrow it really well. Okay, we've got everything back flat. We're going to just leave the piezo up so it exaggerates what we do with the bass and the treble here. But I'm going to strum, boost the bass all the way up, bring it down, and then back to the middle again. You'll hear what that sounds like. Here we go. So starting from the middle. And now we're going to do the same thing with the treble, starting from the middle, all the way up, all the way down, and then back to the middle again. Here we go, starting from the middle. It's much more of a subtle
Yeah, very much.
thing this week,
very much
right?
So, yeah.
Now that we've demoed the pickup, this is where we think you should start to dial in your sound. Volume all the way up, everything else flat, and basically the first point of call before you adjust any bass or treble, first point of call is get your microphone and piezo in a position that you think sounds great. I know somebody who has the piezo all the way up and the microphone at about 70%. It sounds very natural sounding, the guitar. I know some people who have the microphone and the piezo sitting right at 12 o'clock. Me personally, I loop a lot, so I try to limit the microphone sound, so I actually have my microphone off most of the time, the piezo up, and I typically like to have my treble down a little bit. This is exactly my settings, my personal settings on the guitar, but it's about firstly trying to find the relationship between the piezo undersaddle pickup and the microphone where you kind of like it. This is very different whether you're playing live or in the studio, what kind of equipment you have and how loud you are. Obviously, the louder the stages, the bigger the stages, the more slapback and the more stage noise you have, the more the microphone is going to pick up all of those things.
Definitely,
so that'll be one of the first things if you're playing live and you're having feedback issues or you're on a really loud stage, that'll be one of the first things that I would turn down.
Definitely.
And find that. And then finally, once you get your sound, feel free to jump in here if you want to add anything, Bill, too. But I feel like the mid frequency is where room to room, if you need to adjust one frequency that's a little too hot, like 600 or like, if it's an overdrive thing, you can find the frequency and dip it with the mid.
Yeah. A lot of hard surfaces in the room versus a lot of people in the room.
Yeah. So that's where we think you should start. This is all about the AP5 Pro pickup. In my opinion, I'll ride it till the grave, but I think it's the best pickup system in the world, and I love it. And
speaking from years of experience with hundreds and hundreds of really, really fine handcrafted guitars, this is compared to any aftermarket pickup you can buy off the shelf, install it in any of those guitars. This is going to sound better by far. The guitar ain't bad either.
Yep, I agree. Thanks, guys.
Thanks very much.